Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with a moving company update. Did they send my second check on time? Yes, they did. They sent it before the due date. Last time, the first check came to me during the 5-day grace period, but this time, I don't know, maybe they realized, ooh, that was during the grace period, maybe we should send it sooner. And it doesn't look like it's coming from them. It looks like it's just coming from a bank. I don't know if they're doing that like online and just scheduling a payment to me. I don't know, but it's not coming from them, and it's not like a handwritten check or anything like that. So this time it came, I think 2 days before the due date. It could have been maybe 3 days. I hadn't checked the mail, so I'm not exactly sure. I just know it was before the due date. So we have 3 more checks to go, and I will keep you up to date on all of that. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I do have a playlist started for this series, but long story short, I moved from Maine to Mississippi back in 2021, and like I think we got here November 1st, and the whole move was a disaster. And I talked about that on my channel. They didn't like that, so they filed a lawsuit against me for defamation in the amount of $50,000 or more. But I knew I didn't lie. Everything was the truth, so I couldn't imagine that they would have any proof of any kind of lie, and I certainly did not believe they had damages. And they're supposed to be able to prove damages. And during the whole lawsuit, I learned that the person who was in charge of like the accounts and things like that didn't really have a memory of the people who canceled. You know, it's like, oh, well, that was a long time ago, you know, and it's like, well, yeah, but you're suing me. You need proof of damages. Seems like that would have been something you would have wanted to save, right? So even though they were suing me, it ended up that they end up paying me. And we settled. I'm not happy with the settlement. I wanted my day in court, and it's eating away at me that I didn't get that. Now, I understand that that would have been very, very risky. So what I did was less of a risk, but that doesn't make me happy. But I did win my right to talk about them. I just can't name them. And so that's what I'm doing. And one of the things I'm doing is letting you guys know that they owe me a chunk of money, and they're paying in 5 installments. And I've received 2 of those. So I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get the other 3. It's 1 per month near the end-ish of the month. And that's when I will let you guys know if the other checks come in on time or not. I wanted to do another poll because the first poll, I believe the majority was right. I think that it was the majority of the people said they expected the payment to come during the grace period, and it did. But this time it came before that. So what else did I want to tell you? Yeah, I have been wanting to set up my blog again with pages that I had created where you can go to get help if you want to pick a mover, because now I know how to do that. And I am going to be working on that. I have just been so busy with craft stuff. Oh, and since you're watching this, go check out my eBay store and my auctions. The link is in the description of this video. Go see what I have for fabric and stuff like that, and see what I have up for auction right now. And even if you're watching this in the future, you can still go check all that, because I've been on eBay for 25 plus years, and I plan on continuing to do that until I no longer can, for whatever reason. But I was looking back, and I wanted to read some reviews. First, I want to read one of my complaints. I had several out there, but I made copies of all that for the lawsuit in my defense. And I just wanted to first let you know what I had said at the very beginning. Do I not have that open? I thought I did. This is just like the first paragraph. Let me move you over a little bit like that. All right, and it's such small print. Can I make that bigger? I mean, it was so tiny. Now, I can't say their names, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, make something up. And I can't say the people's names, and I'm not going to mention the names of the other players in all this bullshit mess either. I called the asshole movers. I like that. No, I just made that up. I didn't really write it that way. I called so-and-so and specifically asked if they were brokers. So-and-so said no. I was told my move would be on a truck from that company, one of their own trucks, and that I got lucky because they had a cancellation that was going in my direction. Now, it was from Maine to Mississippi. They said my move would be quick, a few days to 7 days. I needed quick because I was moving with my almost 99-year-old mother, who happened to be in hospice care, and we needed our furniture quickly. I was also told my items would be on one truck from start to finish. On the day before my move, I got an email saying my move would be with a different asshole company. This is not, all caps, for not. I was pissed. What I expected, but at that point, there was nothing I could do, right? Night before, they came the next morning, well, the afternoon before I got that email, and I emailed everybody involved and was like, what the fuck? What the holy fuck? I didn't say it like that, but I was really, really upset. And the person who was telling me that info never replied. I never talked to that person again. So what ended up happening is I had to wait almost a month for my furniture. Now, fortunately for me, I was staying with my son. My mother and I were there, but that put them out. I mean, you know, for almost a month, my mother had her hospice set up in his living room, so he had to work in his bedroom. I mean, it was just, but believe me, it was, I was so grateful that we had a place to stay, right? And so there's a lot of other stuff that went on, but said my move would be quick. A few days, I think I remember her saying 4 to 7 days, but that's what I wrote there. And that comes into play now because I'm going to look at some of the other reviews. Always look at the reviews of any mover you plan on hiring, always. Now, it happens that the mover I picked, they are a mover. They also have a broker business. But they tell you, they told me that they were going to be my mover. I was going to be on one of their trucks and all this stuff that I just told you. And I'm not the only person that got told that, apparently. So let me see, where? One, these people are simply thieves. Another one, do not use this moving company. They are deceitful and unprofessional in every way. We were lied to, given false promises, and charged for extras just to get them to unload the truck. I felt like I was paying ransom for our own goods. Liars and cheats, this is another one. I should have stayed away, but now I am stuck with none of my belongings in an empty house. I have already paid thousands more than my quote because of added, somewhat my fault, items they claimed they didn't know about. Now, I'm guessing that these people probably got sold out to another moving company because that's what happened to me. Another moving company was coming, and that's when I learned that the asshole company that I talked to was acting as my broker and not my mover. But that's not what I was told. Not what I was told at all. And they were never able to provide any phone calls, saying that they told me that they were just acting as my broker. This one, it's hard to imagine a worse moving company. They lie to you from the moment you start talking to them. First of all, they are a broker. They hire some cheap companies to do their work for cheap, but charge you premium for the brand. Before you pay them money, they would tell you things like, your move will take a maximum 5 days. We put in a contract 21. Oh my God, that's exactly what they told me. She said, I have to tell you 21, but yours is going to be within 4 to 7 days because there was a cancellation. The truck was going to be moving somebody else in the same direction, so there was space. There was space on the truck for my shit. 4 to 7 days, I was told. Maximum of 5 days. See, now you know not everybody's making this shit up, right? You know, and would I bother to say stuff that's not true? When you get stung by somebody, you want people to know what really happened. It's like, I don't know. So be prepared to stay 1 month in a hotel if you hire this company. That's what could have happened to me if I didn't have a place to stay. We would have had to be in a hotel with a mother in hospice care. That wouldn't have been fun. Our move is done, and I wanted to leave a thorough review for anyone thinking of booking this company. Save yourself a huge headache and don't. I was fairly confident when I booked them due to the very good reviews. You know, it's all just stuff like that. And I didn't check because it was so last minute. We had our move planned other ways, and then my mother was put on hospice care, and so I had to hurry up and make changes and hire somebody. And yeah, it was just all downhill. And the woman seemed so nice, and I'm so mad that I didn't get to go through a process during the settlement, during the lawsuit. I would have loved to have been able to be face-to-face, even if on Zoom, with her. I have a feeling she would have been honest because she seemed so nice. I really, so many regrets as to how this played out. So many. It was 2.5 years for this lawsuit. It was, no. Now, yes, I know that at least I'm getting something from them, and they're getting, not hurt, but I mean, yeah, they're out some money. Let's just put it that way. I'm sure they're not happy about that. You know, I don't think they're saying, oh, I'm so happy, we have to send her another check. I don't think that's happening. Do not hire these hacks. Oh, they had a lot of damages. I had some damages, but I got lucky, and I also got lucky that I was not asked to give more money when the movers came. That was good. Scam and rip-off company. Do not book them. Illegal business practices and horrible, the worst customer service. Avoid at all costs. Do not do business with them. This is another one. They are a brokerage company, and they will subcontract your move 1 to 2 days before your pickup. Do not trust any of the good reviews. They're all generic reviews without any real story experience, because they probably paid for those reviews. You know, and that's what happens. And this person wrote a whole bunch of stuff. And I know that in the past when I was looking at this, these reviews and stuff, a lot of them were saying, I was told that they were moving us, but they ended up just selling us out. So there's a lot of people who said that, and that, you know, not everybody would just even think to make that up, right? You know? It's exactly what I said. It was just all a terrible experience, and it still weighs heavily on me because now that it's over, I had to go through the loss of not having my day in court. That's all I wanted, and that's why I stayed in it. I stayed in it. Had I known that it was just going to end up in a settlement, I would have tried settling at the beginning, but I wanted to go to court. I wanted that so much, and my lawyer knew that. But I don't feel like she prepared me for the outcome that could and most likely would happen, because I would always tell her, you know, I want to go to trial. I know they're lying. I know they can't prove that I've lied. I know they can't because I didn't. So it was all a big mess. I just wish there was a way I could still feel better about it, like still do something about it. But I can't really. I will, though, let you guys know when the third check comes, and I do have other things that I still want to talk about and tell you about. Right now I've been so busy with craft videos that I just don't even have time to sit down and rejuvenate that part of my blog, because it is very helpful to know what government things you need to look at, because you can find out some movers are not even registered or whatever. It's very easy to find the bad ones on that site, because you look it up and it'll say, no, not licensed or whatever. So, but it's not a place for reviews, but you get to at least check on the company. But there's plenty of places for reviews. Please go look at the reviews, please. And do be careful about the Better Business Bureau, because their reviews are good on there now. If I remember right, at one point they were down and they weren't accredited, but I guess they're accredited again. And because the Better Business Bureau will help you out if you buy into them. And I know this for a fact because I was approached by the Better Business Bureau when I first started being self-employed, and they explained it to me that they'll work in my favor if I have a complaint from a customer. And this is when I was doing eBay. And I was like, yeah, I have no interest in that. I'm not going to pay you money. At the time, it was something like $300 or whatever. If people want to complain, let them complain. It's like, you can't really get the truth out of the Better Business Bureau. And that's right, there was a thing on 2020 about it. And I had linked to that, about a woman who got a C, a rating of a C for something, and she went through the steps of paying them something, and it bounced back up. I don't remember if it was to an A rating or whatever. All she had to do was pay and get that removed. So it's not something you can really trust. All right, you guys. I don't know if I made sense there or not. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for not only these kind of chatty things, but for all the other stuff that I do. And go check out my eBay. I would appreciate it very much. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.